Welcome to the land far away, where we discuss culture from a certain point of view. Last week I saw Terminator 2 Judgment Day for the first time in 10 years. I was happy to confirm for myself that it holds up perfectly. It's still one of the best sci-fi action movies ever made. People always praise the special effects, the action scenes, and how this ultimate sequel builds on the first movie and tops it in every aspect. At this point, talking about the positives of Terminator 2 seems almost redundant. However, I would like to turn your attention to a certain detail that helps elevate the movie to heavenly heights, even though I never see it discussed. That is, the body language. Or, should I rather say, non-verbal communication, because experts in this field of study generally disapprove of the term body language. Let's discuss in chronological order several mostly underappreciated moments that are great because of how they complement T2's storytelling and/or world building. For my analysis, I'll be using the extended director's cut of the movie.
Just put up your hand and say, "I swear I won't kill anyone."
I swear I will not kill anyone.
Speech and nonverbal cues can function either independently or together. When employed simultaneously, they may repeat, contradict, substitute, accent, or complement the message. We'll be focusing on the latter situation, that is, when the verbal message is complemented by nonverbal communication. For example, when someone asks you, "Would you like to watch Disney's Obi-Wan Kenobi series?" you might say, "Hell no." You might shake your head in disagreement multiple times, or you might say, "Hell no," while shaking your head multiple times. I think we'll agree that the latter scenario would show your disdain for that garbage of a show most clearly. Now, let's analyze the iconic scene from T2. John Connor asks T-800 to swear that from now on he won't kill anyone. Notice how John not only forces him to say the words out loud, but also make a familiar gesture while doing so. The Terminator raises his right hand to shoulder level and holds it still with the palm facing forward. To the machine, this is just a pointless mechanical movement, but not to John and us, who understand the cultural significance of this gesture. We raise our right hand to show how seriously we take our promise, especially in moments of vast symbolic importance. This is a powerful image that sticks with the viewer. No wonder the scene was recreated in the old NES game, which I used to play back in the 90s. This scene is also significant for plot reasons, as it marks the beginning of the Terminator's journey in search of humanity. This is when John tries to explain to him the value of human life, and why killing is bad. As we'll see, this journey will be reflected not only in actions, but also in the T-800's development of body language, which brings us to scene number 2 in my selection.
Smile once in a while.
Smile?
That's good. Maybe you could practice in front of a mirror or something.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's role as the Terminator is often considered his best acting performance. That's because it plays so well to his acting strengths, limited as they are. As a machine, he doesn't have to emote, his movements are stiff, and he doesn't have much dialogue. He can communicate verbally just fine, but what truly makes his performance robotic is the minimal body language. After all, the man doesn't even blink. Meanwhile, T2 gives Arnold's character quite a profound arc. The movie tests the T-800's limits and asks the question, how much humanity can he gain? This subplot culminates beautifully with this exchange. I know now why you cry, but it is something I can never do. It's rather telling that the movie ends with a line from Sarah Connor. If a machine can learn the value of human life, maybe we can too. I would argue the T-800's character arc starts with John explaining why he shouldn't kill people. There's something biblical about the scene. The future savior of mankind gives the machine a lesson in morality. The Terminator, whose very name stands for the act of killing, can no longer kill. Then John tries to make him seem more humane. First, he teaches him the art of proper verbal communication, which includes some profoundly 90s slang. Finally, it comes time to learn the importance of non-verbal communication. John teaches the Terminator to smile. It's a really funny scene, a testament to Arnold's comedic talents, which he had been exploring since the late 80s. But the scene is also important because it depicts the progress in the T-800's journey towards humanity. The smile is unique to the human species. In evolutionary terms, it's an expression of fear, as are all facial expressions that involve the pulling back of the lips. But this particular expression subtly changed from "I am afraid" to "I am not aggressive" to "I am friendly." Speaking of appearing friendly, just compare the T-800's blank expression early in the movie to the scene with a minigun. This scene works on two levels. Firstly, the smiling Terminator presents himself more like a man than a machine. A badass man, I must add. Secondly, by smiling consciously, the T-800 shows that he has learned from John. He's not just following orders, like in the I swear scene. This is a creative use of a newly gained ability. By the way, plot-wise, this development was enabled by this initially cut scene. I wouldn't be myself if I didn't mention the fact that smiling is culturally coded. It's a uniquely human feature, but some cultures tend to smile more. There's a good reason why in my corner of the world, a wide, cheerful smile that shows off your teeth is literally known as the American smile. To Americans, it's a sign of confidence and high status. Meanwhile, in the eyes of Russians, a smile is childish and non-serious. Take a look at the official portraits of recent American presidents and compare them to their Russian counterparts. Also, I remember giving a lecture in a Russian university several years ago. I asked my students which one of these doctors looks more professional to them. Many would answer that the one on the right, the serious one. They argued that the smiling one seems vain and carefree, while medicine is a serious thing. It's good to joke around, but work isn't supposed to be fun. I know this is anecdotal evidence, but the available literature seems to support it.
Give me 5. All right, now hit me. Give me 5. Do the same thing, do the same thing. All right.
I've heard some criticisms of the second act of T2. Some find it too slow, others point to the utter disappearance of the T-1000, which is quite weird. I get it, but I don't mind. I appreciate what the second act achieves in character building. After all, this portion of the movie is devoted to John and the T-800 bonding. This is when the Terminator becomes a father figure to the kid. They complete various tasks together, with fixing the truck being their crowning achievement. They celebrate with a sequence of gestures. Most gestures require only one sender and at least one receiver. For example, when you show someone the middle finger. However, some gestures require 2 people to complete. They both cooperate and mirror each other's movements. It's almost a dance, a matching test that results in tightening the bond, or loosening it if you don't cooperate. In this scene, John introduces the T-800 to the gesture, "Give me 5." Originally, it is an exaggeration of the initial element of the handshake, when the palms come together, but instead of clasping hands and shaking them up and down, they are forcibly struck against one another. Originally a male American gesture, it has spread to other parts of the world via cinema and television. John not only teaches the T-800 the palm slap, but also gives him a lesson in teasing, which is a typically masculine bonding mechanism. I know that some people feel that John's extremely 90s lingo and extreme attitude date the movie overall. I don't mind it. This scene, which some find cringy, serves its purpose well. Let's leave John and the T-800 for a while, and instead put Sarah Connor in the spotlight. I love this piece of acting from Linda Hamilton. In this scene, Sarah tries to kill Miles Dyson, the creator of Skynet, but she can't, especially not in front of his wife and son. Notice how she physically struggles with herself and makes the gesture known as a palm thrust, as she tries to repel, physically push away evil thoughts, as if they were there. This scene reminds me of Fyodor Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. In the first chapter, Raskolnikov kills two women with an axe, and the only reaction of one of them is to make the "go back" gesture with her hands, as if she could stop the axe with her palm. Neither her behavior nor Sarah's makes any sense from a practical point of view, because it's not an attempt of defense. It's rather a reflex, one deeply encoded into our brains, rooted in our childhood, when we believed we had more control of our surroundings than we actually had. Other examples that come to mind are trying to reach something that we couldn't possibly reach because we're way too small or too far away, or covering your eyes to make the scary thing go away. I think this scene perfectly shows Sarah's vulnerability. Remember that even though in T2 she's a tough and no-nonsense badass, in the original movie she was quite fragile. I feel this deeply buried side of her comes out here, showing us that the sensitive waitress she once was isn't completely gone. And isn't that a deeper truth about the human experience? We change along the way as life tests us, but our core is always there, even if hidden under the weight of trauma.
Can you get us in, past security?
I think so, yeah. When?
We stay at the Dyson residence for scene number 5. This is such a quick and simple moment. It doesn't come with a lot of meat, but I like it because it's a little nugget of great scriptwriting and visual storytelling. After being presented with the story of Judgment Day, Miles asks when they should leave for Skynet in order to stop the impending war with the machines. In response, the T-800 quickly stands up, conveying the sense of urgency without a single word. I feel a lesser script would put some generic and useless line into his mouth like, "There's no time to waste," or "Judgment Day won't wait for us." Movies are first and foremost a visual medium, so I greatly appreciate such an immediate and dynamic moment that is purely visual and doesn't employ unnecessary dialogue. Modern Hollywood writers could learn much here. Speaking of showing not telling and conveying a lot of information without any dialogue, let's marvel at the iconic scene from A New Hope, where Luke Skywalker gazes longingly at the twin suns. It's a moment of yearning, dreaming of something greater, a symbol of hope amidst despair. All of this is conveyed through Mark Hamill's acting, the visuals, and John Williams' brilliant score. Now let's compare that scene with the one from the infamous Disney Plus series The Acolyte, one which serves basically the same function in the story.
I told him I wanted to be a Jedi because I do. I want to see the galaxy. I don't want to be a witch.
I rest my case. To be fair, there is a scene in A New Hope where Luke explicitly declares to Obi-Wan that he wants to go to Alderaan and become a Jedi like his father before him. However, this scene comes along almost 20 minutes after the binary sunset. At this point, Luke's character, his dreams and fears are already well established. Meanwhile, characters in The Acolyte are established exclusively via such declarations. We're moving towards the movie's finale. I would argue that the scene depicting a handshake between the T-800 and Sarah Connor is a perfect example of the effectiveness of storytelling in T2. This simple, everyday gesture conveys volumes. Words often have more than one meaning. The same goes for gestures. All depends on the context. For example, a handshake can be a sign of greeting, farewell, or congratulations. However, in the presented scene, I would say it is used as a sign of allegiance. This is actually the original role of the handshake, before it became a greeting gesture. In medieval times, it was employed as a pledge of honor or allegiance, and was usually accompanied by a kneeling position on the part of the subordinate. The clasping of the hands was then more important than the shaking element. We know that the full handshake occurred as early as the 16th century, because in Shakespeare's As You Like It, there is the phrase, "They shook hands and swore brothers." In T2, the first and final handshake between the T-800 and Sarah Connor serves as an unspoken culmination of a story lasting for 2 whole movies. In T1, Sarah was a target. The T-800 tried to murder her. Eventually, he failed, but he did take the life of her beloved Kyle Reese. In T2, a different but similar T-800 comes back from the future, this time as a protector to her and her son John. Obviously, she doesn't trust him, or rather it, as she constantly refers to the Terminator, refusing to acknowledge any shreds of humanity in the machine. She's still traumatized and misses Kyle. But over time, Sarah gradually changes her attitude. She realizes that this machine might just be the best thing that happened to John, the perfect protector. When the time comes for the T-800 to leave them, she offers him a handshake as a sign of peace, allegiance, or maybe even friendship. The machine mirrors her gesture, just like John had taught him to do. They went a long way together, from an assassin to a friend. And I know these are 2 different Terminators I'm talking about, but I doubt Sarah makes a distinction between them in her head. We end this analysis with one of the most iconic scenes from the entire movie. The thumbs-up gesture has a strange origin based on a misunderstanding. In the ancient Roman Colosseum, when the crowd wanted a vanquished gladiator to be spared because he had fought well, they covered up their thumbs. When they wanted him killed because he had fought badly, they mimed the action of plunging in the sword by extending their thumbs and imitating the thrusting action. Through mistranslation or ignorance, this opposing pair of gestures eventually changed from thumb cover up to thumb up for something good, and from thumb thrust to thumb down for something bad. This is the form in which we use them today. Why does the T-800 make the thumbs up gesture as he ceases to be? I believe it's a reference to the dialogue he had earlier with John about not being afraid to die. When my task is done, it's done. As we already know, he can't cry. He will never be truly human. Essentially, he's a machine, and he meets his end with proper attitude. but in his final moment he communicates to John that it's okay. I will add, however, that this gesture might be a potential source of confusion. Verbal communication is not universal because we speak different languages. Non-verbal communication is not universal as well because the same gestures can have different meanings in various cultures. So while in America thumbs up is a positive gesture, in West Africa and the Middle East, the gesture has the connotation of up yours. It's used the same way the middle finger is in the US. But let's not focus on that. After all, it's such a beautiful goodbye. And so I'm saying goodbye to you as well, because as we all know, there were no other Terminator sequels. Judgment Day was prevented. There is no dark fate to come. With this message, I leave you. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it. Also, comment if you would like me to do a similar analysis of a different movie. Until next time, bye.